Welcome to TARTLEcast with your hosts Alexander McKegg and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path.
Everybody, thank you for tuning into this week's episode with Jason and I here. We got a special program for Tartle because there needs to be an explainer for why we architected the system a certain way, right? And why
architected?
Architect, right?
Oh, okay.
So you got it's like
I thought you
design.
added an ED on the end.
No, yeah.
Why are you laughing, bro?
Constructed, whatever the hell we want to call it.
Yeah.
But
Past participle.
Yeah. Your prose
is
just knocking me off my socks right now.
I know, yeah. What socks do you have on today?
I got
you have a gangster vegan shirt on.
But I got the UFO boys on here.
Oh, little UFOs.
Well,
we get a lot of those in New Mexico.
Yeah,
of course.
Well, I was sleeping, sidetrack on this Tartle podcast right now. I was sleeping the other night, and I hear this thing.
The other night? Not last night.
The other night. And it sounded like, it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and it sounded like the sky was being just ripped in half.
But it was gunshots?
No, not gunshots.
You had that the probably the first or second night you were back from your vacation?
Yeah, there were some gunshots.
Yeah, did you hear that?
Yeah, it was right on the edge of where the reservation starts.
Yeah.
Kind of a mess.
Yeah.
You just sidetracked me again. So it sounds like this thing is like ripping the sky in half, but it's like pulsing. It goes like bop, 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 bop. And I think
Aurora Project.
I think it's like one of those pulsing ion engines.
Yeah, the magnetic.
Because Kirtland tests those. Did
you see any green or was there?
No, it woke me up and the dogs are like shaking.
Because I know it when it pulses, when they're reversing the polarity back and forth so quickly within milliseconds, it creates like a green ion.
Where is
discharge.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Professor.
Sorry.
I can't believe you got your PhD since I've been gone for 3 weeks.
A lot has happened, bro. Do you have any books I've read? What else am I supposed to do?
Wow.
Literally, Alex, what am I supposed to do while you're gone?
You're really manning the show from now on.
Yeah.
Why don't you just talk about Tartle and the auction system? Go ahead.
The auction system in Tartle?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So
it's your company, bro.
Yeah. All right. Let's dip into Tartle for a second. So people were wondering, they're like, so how is it, I have people going to buy the data, right? And the people selling it, they're like, so how do we figure out what is the price?
Right.
Like, how do I know that, this piece of information is like a hair color? I want to buy information.
Can I drop the mic on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
The market decides. Next.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. But the thing is, that's important, right? But the market can decide. But when people say, oh, the market decides, I was like, oh, what? Does someone just like, does Tartle determine what the price is for that value?
No, we believe in free market.
We believe in free market,
and
right?
what is that? What does that entail?
What does that entail?
I got a degree while you're gone.
No, this is you, Adam Smith.
Can you step up your
Adam
game,
Smith,
bro?
can you relax for a second? So what we're saying is that the people selling the information, they have a price determined in their head for what they think the value is, right? And then the people willing to buy it are going to put that bid into the system. So if I want to buy the information on people that wear black Adidas jumpsuits,
right, like
that want to look like the Russian mob,
I have that on.
Correct. So I want to bid a specific price as that buyer to know what that market is. And then on the other side, I know what the value is. So it's like, where can I meet in the middle when that bid actually finds that?
Right.
That finds that golden middle. So, and what we can do with that is we can then track the market value of the prices for those pieces of information. So for an infinite amount of information that we create on the system, we're now able to find a true market price for what the value of a piece of data is actually worth.
Because you're allowing not just the market, but you're allowing the end user to be able to control that pricing.
Right, and it's great. So we have a balanced, a symmetry of power of value.
Yeah, it's like the 32.5 that Fibonacci. You run it off of that scale?
Stay woke right now.
Yes,
okay?
exactly.
Our Tartle users, stay woke. All right, because Jason's on the air.
He's mathematically based it off of a knotless shell.
This is great. Wow, look at these repeating patterns in life.
Yes, exactly. But you'll be able to see that through the amounts of data that you get.
Yeah, that data that's actually being moved, right? And we'll be able, because we have all the charting systems.
Because what does movement create?
What does movement create?
Energy.
Yeah, well, obviously.
And what does energy create?
Energy needs to create that movement too, right?
Yes.
They have to work in tandem. There's some push-pull. Thank you. But the point is, all right, we had to start with the auction style system so that we could find that fair market value for an infinitesimal pieces of data. Rather than having Tartle decide this is what the value is going to be,
Right.
we want to let both parties decide so that they can come together and be like, okay, this is the agreed upon value. And that's the whole point, right? And I just wanted to make sure that we were clear on that. We could settle that so people are like, oh, so like, why is it that I can't just sell it right now? Why is it that I put the information and someone just pays me for it? Well, we have to determine what the proper value is for that.
And also somebody may look at their medical data and say, well, I'm just this person or I have this, but they don't realize, and that's what I love about Tartle on the philosophical side. We're worth more than what we feel that we are.
Correct.
And your data is worth more than what you feel like it is.
Yeah, this is like a problem we all have.
Yes.
We all undervalue ourselves.
Yes.
All the time, right? And until you begin to see those mistakes. So you go into a job and you're like, oh my God, I should have asked for more money. Like what a mistake, right? Or you go to do something and then you finish it and you're like, man, I could have done more.
Yes.
I undervalued myself in that action of that moment, whatever it might be, right? And so when we look at Tartle, it's like now it stops that undervaluing. It gives you a moment to reflect and be like, oh, this is what they see the value as. And this is what I was seeing the value as.
Yes.
Maybe I was wrong, or maybe I was right. But the thing is, it brings people to that center where they can make that transaction, and then we can actually track to see what, on a global scale, data actually looks like with its value.
And any type of entertainment company that's out there, whether it's Facebook, Viacom, whoever it may be, they're looking at propagating that data and turning around and using you.
Yeah.
Because it's taking your information and using that, whether it's Netflix that looks at, how many people are downloading to certain episodes. They're taking all this data and they're using it for free.
Yes, correct.
And they're not creating any value to the person that is sitting there, whether they're on a laptop, whether they're on a desktop, whether they're on their phone.
Yeah.
And saying this is an individual.
And it's not a direct ask. There's
This
no
is a person.
appreciation. They look at you as a number, right?
We actually look at them as this is an eternal person.
Yeah.
This is a soul. And so the philosophy, that's what I kind of want to get into, because we can get into the tech, how do you say it?
What? Technical? Technology?
I like that.
Tech?
No, I want people to understand that it's more than just a tech company.
It is more than that.
And that your vision.
It has purpose. It has a deeper social purpose with that financial inclusion.
Yeah, and there's a spiritual purpose behind it too.
Well, yeah, because it inherently tells you to self-reflect on yourself constantly. Because when you look at these data packets, this information we create, this perspective of who we think we are in our reality, it causes you to like stop yourself before you
it's like Apple did with the time that you spend.
Yeah.
So every week you get this self-awareness little reminder that says you spent 3 hours and 46 minutes on Instagram.
Yeah, but it's deeper than that though.
Yes.
Because let's think about the depth. I'm going and I'm reflecting on this information, how I determine who I am in reality, what I think is valuable.
Right.
Right. And then it's kind of creates a picture of myself. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking that picture of myself, what I think is true.
Right.
And I'm handing it to someone else that wants to give me that value for how I perceive my reality.
Right.
And so that self-reflection and the better we do with it drives a higher value on the other end for not only the person analyzing it, but how they're going to use the resources, which in turn come back to you.
And that's what's great about that a company that's looking at purchasing data from Tartle, because you're getting authentic.
Yeah. From the source.
How many tech companies that are out there that are selling data and you don't know how corrupted it is?
No, you don't know how corrupt it is. You don't know what info's crap. But on top of that, it's tertiary information. It was never a direct ask.
No.
It was taken from all these like disparate points. And we're saying, why don't I just go to this source piece information right here?
Right.
To the person who's creating it and ask them their perspective, their emotion, their behavior, their choice, their preference.
Right.
All of these different things. And then now I got a bucket of these items.
There's no assumptions.
There's no assumptions in it, right? It's just truthful pointness of information right there in front of you. So you don't have to guess anymore.
So as a company that's looking at purchasing data from Tartle, how valuable is that when there's no assumptions?
Well, if there's no assumptions, then you always have the right answer. There's no waste of a resource, right? So when you go to do something,
ROI look like of that?
well, your ROI, it's 100%.
Yes.
It's always 100% return on investment, right? Because if you're asking the right questions for the information that you want,
Right.
you'll never end up making a mistake. You'll
Right.
never end up pushing a product that was never going to work.
Right.
You know, there's no reason to say you're a political figure. You want some ROI on your campaign? Why don't you test some of your ideas before you say something nonsensical and it
Right.
blows up in your face?
Yes, exactly.
You could test all of your policies on a global level. You know, you can even ask people in India how they feel about a U.S. policy factor happening here.
Yeah, I mean, I know Trump and his whole family was just in India.
Yeah. Well, that's why I brought that up. I'm glad you made that bridge.
Yeah. I saw the Taj Mahal pictures.
Yeah.
From Ivanka. That's the main one I follow. But
Did he say? That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, no. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like you can take the information from, let's say you sit here in the United States and you decide to say, what is the political view of people that live in India towards our current president?
What's their perspective? Yeah.
Now you can interview people that are ask questions of people that live in America that are from an Indian descent. But when you actually go to that country and ask specifically from that, now you're going to get a whole different perspective.
You can always remove yourself from a biased situation by using the system. You eliminate biasy.
Right.
And you can essentially plot or analyze or do whatever the hell you want to do to give you a nosebleed with your propeller, PhD mathematicians or statisticians working on all this data. I don't care, right? But the point is that you're actually getting something with all of the fat trimmed away.
Yes, and some data that just came out that was recent that was really interesting when we get into that. I do too.
Data.
But it was from a bunch of sources. They were talking about how many Asian Americans are supporting Trump.
Yeah.
And you don't even think about that. We think of the dynamics. We think of African Americans. We think of minorities. But we
think of what we're being told.
Yes.
From one source.
But we don't think of the highest percentage of a minority that's supporting Donald Trump is Asian Americans.
But the thing is, how long did it freaking take to figure that out? You could figure it out in 24 hours on TARTLE.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Something and then if the news ever says something stupid, you're like, let me go check the facts. Why don't you get a collective perspective of source?
But this is really important because people on TARTLE know that their identity is hidden.
Yes.
When it's asked, do you support this person or this person?
That's the
how honest are you going to be? This is where I was leading into this question.
No, I'm glad you asked because I love a metaphor with that, right?
Right.
It's like the dude like sipping on like Mountain Dew, like the old school version, late at night on YouTube or like 4chan or something he shouldn't be on.
Right.
But he's behind a keyboard. So he'll say anything.
Yes.
And you tend to find that people don't. I'm going to say something a little different here. There's no anonymity in a situation, typically them on real day life when they're doing an interaction, which means people know who they are.
Yes.
But when you're not known, people are really willing to share the deeper parts about themselves.
Yes.
So this information we have on TARTLE, it's grittier.
Yes.
It's more truthful, even if it may be uglier in some senses, right? But it's really giving you a much more vivid, truthful picture of how people are thinking, feeling, doing, choosing, emoting.
And we saw with the elections, when we saw whether you're left or right, it doesn't matter. But when we saw the left had just thought that it was a landslide win.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when we got gritty, guess what happened? Yeah. And so all those data points, all that, what would you call, what did you say the word about it was, I'm trying to think of the word.
Bring me back to the sentence, Jason.
No, it's the shirt. It's distracting me, the gangster vegan. But no, think about it. Whenever you're having that passive data coming,
yes,
there's an assumption to that because whenever you have anything that's passive, you can sway it to whatever direction that you want.
Of course you can, because it's just information coming in, and then you have the bias of how to determine it.
Yes.
Rather than letting the people who created it determine that information for themselves. Like if I write a sentence, okay, only until I explain to you the context of what I wrote from my perspective do you truly understand its meaning. You know how people interpret the Bible or they interpret poetry or whatever it might be.
Right.
It's only until you heard it from the mouth of the author that you truly understood what they were talking about. So I'm saying we take millions of authors here on TARTLE, our user base, right? And we're asking them, what did you really mean? Rather than just saying, we've gotten passive information and we're going to assume that this is what you said.
You've gone 4 times to Trump's website.
Yeah.
So we assume you're a Trump supporter.
Maybe I'm just going there to figure out what's happening on the other side.
Right.
But then I must ask you, so then how do you determine what that price is? So instead of being passive and wasting your resources, just go with this auction style system we have, bid people for that information, and then they'll meet you in the middle with what they think is valuable.
I love that. I think think that's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I think we wasted 15 and 33 seconds.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that we just shortened everybody's lifespan, and also kill a couple
15
of
minutes. But we do encourage people with the remaining time that they do have.
Oh, yeah. And it only takes about 30 seconds. So about 16, 15,
Yes.
you can be done, signed up for Tartle, and populating your data packets in a snap.
Yeah, and it's super easy.
Very easy.
Yeah, and I think you downloaded Tartle. I think you did this on the sly on my phone because all of a sudden I go on my phone and look.
Yeah, I put it on your homepage.
Yeah, look at that. Whoops.
So you can save web apps to your homepage. Yeah,
screensaver.
that's I used to have that in the background.
I just distracted them, guys.
I know I'm totally
Some sacred
distracted.
geometry.
Yeah, there's too much right now. But because it's a web app, what you can do is if you're in your web browser on Android or iOS, you can go to the share button, and then from that you can hit save to home screen. And it will actually take the Tartle web app and put it on your home screen like you have any other regular application.
Right. Exactly.
So you never have to download an update. It loads instantaneously.
Right.
There's a lot of beautiful things with having a web app. Right?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I have it right on my front page.
Yeah. And it's super simple to sign up. And we have a pipeline of beautiful, developments coming in that we've gotten a lot of feedback from the public. That'll make it so much simpler for you to increase your cash flow, move through the system, see what's truly valuable, and again, give you more power and control.
And if they have more information, Alex, there is a series of videos on YouTube.
Yep.
So I can avoid the turtles.
Yeah, if you can avoid the turtles and type in TARTLE,
right,
you'll find us on YouTube.
And there's you're going to see you have a plethora of videos. You even have videos that walk through.
Yeah, we have
exactly
walkthrough videos. Yeah, so if you need some help, like where to start, what to do, what's going to happen, what does this mean for me, check it out. And I would also encourage you to check out the Knowledge Center at tartle.co.
I love that. Yeah.
And that is going to have a whole bunch of stuff on tax implications of using Bitcoin. It teaches you about encryption standards, our philosophies, structures, the entire system. It'll all be there for you.
Yeah, I talked to someone the other day and they were like, I believe in Bitcoin, I believe in this. And then, I was sharing with them about Tartle and they're like, what if I just leave it in there? And then it just collects and collects and collects and then I have it. And at some point later on, 5, 10, 15 years, as Bitcoin's growing.
Yeah, just consider it an investment.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way
what's the big whoop? So it's either you look at it as a new system of currency,
right?
Or you just look at it as like, I'm going to sell my data as an investment in me. Mm-hmm. Good for you, Jason.
Yes.
And
then that compounds, and as Bitcoin grows, then from there, I mean, we're not investment advisors at all, but
no, I wouldn't take our investment advice. But I would tell you to invest in yourself because we're always our best investment.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a great way to look at it in that format too, is where you're selling your data, investing, you're going to get a percentage of that back.
Yeah.
And then from there, you're just going to keep growing Bitcoin.
No, it's great. And I spoke with the IRS. I literally called them on the phone.
You called them?
Yeah, they were.
Did they answer?
Not kind, right?
Yeah.
So I had to find the right people
the
that actually.
Internal Revenue Service.
Private company.
Yes.
Regardless. So I'm on the phone with them and I placed some calls because someone had wrote what their policy was on cryptocurrencies or virtual currencies, right? What are the tax implications?
Trying to figure that shit out,
right? And so they're like trying to dodge questions in the office and stuff. So I finally get a call back from a lady because they fired 3 people that had been through there that had been leading their thing,
right?
And I finally got to the point of her telling me that if we're doing wallet to wallet transfers, okay, it's completely tax free. It's only if you take Bitcoin and exchange it back to US dollar that someone's going to tax you on it. But apart from that, they have no control.
But you can purchase all kinds of things in Bitcoin.
You can tons of things. If you go on,
you can buy art.
You can buy art. You can buy your Amazon items.
Yes.
You can buy gift cards. I don't care. It doesn't matter what it is. Right. There's Bitcoin ATMs.
Right.
But it almost I felt like a sense of fear from them because the onus is on you, and then they start getting angry on the phone. The IRS is getting. Do you even know me?
Right.
Apart from the number that you have.
So you're distributing paper with dead presidents on it.
Yeah.
And you think
cash is still king?
And you think the internet. Your paper.
Yeah.
And you think the internet.
Yeah, you think the internet is the bad
yes,
thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't touch
that it's a minority and the majority is the US currency.
Yeah, and I think
at any moment a global currency could come on the scene and transform. I think that is what's going to be the next.
That's what scares them the most.
No, I think more than anything, I don't think it's a coronavirus. I don't think it's the China economy collapsing or anything. I think it's a universal currency that's going to hit the scene. The bankers are not going to know what to do because for hundreds of years, They've developed the United States. Europe has came in here.
I'm getting goosebumps. This is stuff that I really dipped down into history.
And so now you have the United States government, you have the European Union,
Yep.
you have all these sacred cows, because that's what they all are. These bankers are all sacred cows.
There's only
and
a couple
it's time
of them.
to do some cow tipping.
Yeah, we gotta tip some cows.
Yes.
Yeah. Are we getting revolutionary right now?
It's happening.
It's getting toasty in this podcasting studio.
Because what's going to happen? Because when currency becomes
owned
the ability to be owned
by the people,
not
a minority,
and for the people. Do you not think that the founding forefathers, if they had the ability to understand the concept of cryptocurrency,
they'd be jacked.
They would be so excited about this revolutionary. Because even then, in the 1700s, the founding forefathers were warning against the banking system.
Don't put in the central banks. Don't do this. Don't let the Brits
they were talking
fund
about
us,
that.
right?
Over and over again, they were talking about that.
Yeah.
Keep Europe out of our money.
Stop doing it.
That's why they were doing the gold
Don't
standard.
put a central bank. You have no control until Bretton Woods when they canceled it. What, the 60s or 70s?
Yes. Yeah, and the Federal Reserve, private company, once again. IRS, private company.
Oh, yeah, founded
once again.
Puerto Rico.
It is time for the people to come back and take ownership, not just of their data, but for their money.
Oh, man, and you can do both at the same time.
You can with tartle.co.
Thank you. TARTLE.co. Everybody, thank you for listening, and we will see you in another week.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to TartleCast with your hosts Alexander McKegg and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path. What's your data worth?